The distance from
Oh
one
my
side
God.
to the other is
There's so many aliens.
520 the entire observable universe, and see that even the
It's just clusters within inside more clusters. It's just inception of clusters, bro. What's up, guys? Today I am checking out how the universe is way bigger than you think. My buddy recommended me to check out this video, so here we are. If you have other recommendations like this or just other videos to check on general, feel free to comment below. But appreciate you guys tuning in. Hope you're having a great day. Let's check out how big the universe really is.
This is Earth. You live here on this planet somewhere, and everything
No,
that
I
you've
don't.
ever known is located
No, I
right
don't.
here. But just how small exactly is Earth when compared to the scale of the entire universe? Let's start by zooming out to where we can see our nearest cosmic neighbor, the Moon. You may think that the Moon is very close to Earth since it dominates our night skies, but in reality the Moon isn't this close to our planet, it's actually about this far away. 384,400 kilometers away from you right now on average. You could
about
fit
right.
30 entire Earths in between this distance, and if you
I knew
somehow
that.
were able to drive a car at a constant 100 kilometers per hour speed, it would take you about 160 days to drive the entire distance.
That's not
Despite
bad.
this incredible distance, however, 12 humans have actually set foot here, representing the furthest away that any individual human has ever been away from the Earth, and one of humanity's greatest achievements. This is what the Earth would look like from there if you were standing there with them, and if you wanted to communicate with somebody back at home, it would take a message about 2.5 seconds to travel between you and them, since that's how fast the speed of light can travel at. This is a photo that was taken on Mars, and that tiny dot that you see there is Earth as seen from the Martian surface. On average, Mars is an incredible 225 million kilometers away from Earth, but that distance can be as high as 401 million kilometers. That means that whenever humanity finally gets around to landing a human on the planet, that person will be 986 times further away from Earth than the astronauts who landed on the Moon were.
Damn.
In addition, the time delay for sending a message from Mars back to Earth isn't just 2.5 seconds, it's actually more like 20 minutes each direction, which would render instant communication in the event of an emergency impossible. When we zoom out even further away, we can find the Voyager 1 space probe, which is the furthest away man-made object from Earth. It is currently located 138 AUs from the Earth. AU meaning astronomical unit, which is the distance between the Earth and the Sun, which means that Voyager 1 is 138 times further away from us than the Sun is.
So
At
much
some
math
point
going
on its
on.
long voyage, Voyager 1 turned its camera around and took this photograph. It may not look like much at first, but in my opinion, this is the greatest single photograph ever taken in all of human history. This tiny, pale blue dot is Earth, and I don't think that anybody has ever said something as amazing about this as Carl Sagan when he said, "If you look at it, you see a dot. That's here. That's home. That's us. On it, everyone you ever heard of, every human being who ever lived out their lives. The aggregate of all our joys and sufferings, thousands of confident religions, ideologies, and economic doctrines. Every hunter and every forager, every hero and coward, every creator and destroyer of civilizations, every king and every peasant, every young couple in love, every hopeful child, every mother and every father, every inventor and explorer, every teacher of morals, every corrupt politician,
Every person,
every
we get it.
superstar,
We get
every
it.
supreme leader, every
Oh my
saint
God.
and sinner in the history of our species lived
Your cousin,
there,
your
on
cousin's
a mote
cousin,
of dust
your
suspended
cousin's
in a
cousin's
sunbeam.
cousin.
Voyager 1 is currently traveling at 17 kilometers every single second, but even at that speed, it won't break out of the reach of our solar system for another 30,000 years. Once we go beyond the solar system, we arrive in our interstellar neighborhood. Here we shift to the light year unit of measurement, which is the distance that light travels in a full Earth year, or about
There's so much fucking math and science going on, man. I'm gonna fall asleep after this video. I always fall asleep to like how it's made. It's like the best videos to fall asleep to.
9.46
Not saying this is boring. It's just rich in so much fucking info.
1 trillion kilometers. The star Proxima Centauri here is the closest other star to us other than our sun, but it's still 4.24 light years away from us. To put that into perspective, if it was heading in the right direction, it would still take Voyager 1 over 70,000 years to reach it. In other words, if you drove your car at 100 kilometers an hour like in our previous example to the moon, it would take over 6 times longer than the entire age of the universe is just to finally get there, and it wouldn't even exist still when you arrived. When we zoom out even further, we can see the entire Milky Way galaxy, inside of which Earth is located right here. This yellow dot is the furthest extent of humanity's radio broadcasts throughout history, which means that any possible aliens who live outside of this range are totally unaware of humanity's presence. It's complete silence outside of this yellow dot as far as we are currently aware, but the entire galaxy spans over 100,000 light years from end to end. There are over 100 billion stars and over 100 billion planets inside of our galaxy. But you have never seen the full glory of the galaxy at night, because 99% of the stars that you can see with the naked eye are limited to this small, tiny region right here. But even this massive galaxy is nothing compared to the rest of what's out there. Zooming out even further and we arrive at the local group of galaxies, a collection of 54 different galaxies that is about 10 million light years across. But zooming out even further and we can see...
I mean, aliens are real, bro. Like, there's no way, like, there's like so much forms of life out there. And we'll never know, like in our lifetime, we'll never know. But in general, you know, Earth's lifetime may never know. But there's a shitload of alien life forms out there. I mean, we're aliens too, you think about it. But damn, it's kind of unfortunate. I'd like to see some aliens before I die.
See the Virgo supercluster, of which the local group here is just a tiny segment of. There are at least 100 other groups of galaxies just like our own local group inside of here, and the distance from one side to the other is a mind-numbing 110 million light years.
That's crazy. You think about it though, because like our galaxy, we got Earth. Known forms of life, right? Basically, we could assume each galaxy has at least one planet that has some type of civilization on it. There's a shitload of aliens out there.
But even the massive Virgo supercluster is nothing but a quiet and tiny lobe of the Great Laniakea supercluster, an enormous structure that is home to our galaxy as well as 100,000 other galaxies. The distance from one side to the other is
there's so many aliens.
20 million light years, but from even there we can zoom out all the way to the entire observable universe and see that even the titanic Laniakea supercluster is just a tiny and insignificant part of everything.
It's just clusters within inside more clusters. It's just inception of clusters, bro.
This is the observable universe, and it contains everything that we know of. It is home to at least 2 trillion different and individual galaxies, which together contain more stars than...
That's like 2 trillion different alien species. Boom. By default. There's so many aliens out there.
There are grains of sand on the entire Earth. The distance from Earth to any side of the observable universe is 46.5 billion light years, which means that the entire width is 93 billion light years across. What's perhaps even more interesting, however, is what actually lies beyond the observable universe.
More
Keep
clusters.
in mind that the observable universe is all that we can currently see, and it's entirely possible that the rest of the universe outside of it is vastly larger and more fantastic than we can possibly ever imagine. We simply don't know what else is out there because the light from these incredibly distant places has not yet had enough time in the universe's history to reach us yet back on Earth. And the light from some places may never reach us at all. Because some parts of space very far away from Earth are expanding away from us faster than the speed of light, that means that the light from these places will never, in an infinite amount of time, reach Earth. Meaning that even if humanity is eternal and exists forever, there will still be an unknown number of places in the universe that we will never know about or ever see. So, it is very likely that as unbelievably enormous as it seems, the observable universe is just a tiny slice of what we can currently see of the entire universe. According to the theory of cosmic inflation that was proposed by Dr. Alan Guth, if it is assumed that cosmic inflation began at 10 to the negative 30
Bro, even space has inflation. That's crazy.
Seventh of a second after the Big Bang, and
You
with
can't
the
escape
assumption
it.
that the size of the universe before inflation began was equal to its age times the speed of light, then this would seem to suggest that at the present day, the entire universe is 150 sextillion times larger than the observable universe. That number for reference looks like this, with this many zeros. Let this number
many
sink in for
zeros.
just a moment. This would be similar to you thinking that the entire observable universe, everything that you could see, was the size of a light bulb, but then realizing that in reality the entire universe is larger than the former planet of Pluto. Imagine a light bulb in the center of Pluto, but we inside the light bulb were totally unaware that Pluto existed outside of it, and that's a similar situation to this. We are all so unbelievably small, but you shouldn't worry, because all that means is that there is so much left out there for us to discover together.
Yeah, good thing they didn't fucking stop NASA or anything. I mean, this was pretty good. This was an interesting video. I mean, for the most part, I figured the case for all of this shit. So it's like, yeah, you're not telling me anything new or that like I myself have just thought of, because like my brain thinks of like a lot of random shit, and like I like to think about this type of stuff. Like, it's crazy how things work. Like, it's crazy, like, even though it's like there's, you know, math, science, technological advancement behind everything for everything to make sense, but just thinking about like the generalized concept, like, it's crazy that like you're able just to like pick up this like this block and call someone, and you're talking to someone like thousands of miles away, like instantly with no delay or anything, or just like looking at all these pixels on a screen that like you could talk to someone 1,000 miles away, like FaceTime or whatever, or just watch it. It's like so cool just thinking about like how shit works in general. So I thought a lot about like space and everything too. Like, it's so crazy because like Earth is so tiny, and like so tiny, and like gigantic catastrophic events happen or can happen in space, like when stars die out, they fucking explode and shit, and like I just think about like any second we could be wiped out and not even know it. Like, because like, you know, they're like, oh, an asteroid's like a couple light years away, it'll come here in like 6 years from now, but it's gonna miss us by many miles. Like, they could project that, but there's shit out there that's so much bigger than that that could just happen like that and we wouldn't even know it. Like, that's how tiny we are in space, but just how big and quick so many things can happen without us even knowing, because we're just a little fucking speck. Like, I think about that shit all the time. Yeah, I have like a domino thought process. I can't sleep a lot because I'm always thinking about shit, but it's really cool. I mean, most of this stuff, it's like, yeah, I kind of figured the case, but I liked seeing like the actual visualization behind everything, as well as like the stats and all that. Like, it's cool to learn that way. Other than that, I'm like, yeah, I get it. We're in space and it's fucking big. I know we're a block of cells within a block of cells within a block of cells within a block of cells. We get it. But it was cool to see. It was cool to see. Yeah. I mean, pretty good video. Feel free to recommend more. But hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. it was relatively okay in my opinion. But I'll see you guys potentially later. Bye.